On day one, we drove to Hazen's Notch Trailhead where we left Sean's car, and we got a shuttle from Wendy, who dropped us off at Journey's End Trailhead. All right, we just got dropped off on Journey's End Road on the approach trail to the northern terminus.
Woo!
Yeah. Ready to hit the trail?
Yeah.
Not actually on the LT yet, but this is the approach trail to the LT.
Here's Jenny signing in on the approach trail to the long trail.
I don't know what to say.
Boop.
Starting the first climb. What they don't tell you about the Journey's End Trail is it's a lot of uphill to get to the start. So most people are probably going the other way and coming down it.
That looks like an old road or something.
Starting to see some
baby,
view.
it's right there.
All right.
We're at the terminus, I think.
Here it is.
Oh.
Oh shit, dog. Woo!
Is this the border? This is
Yeah,
the border.
this is the border.
Wow.
It's Canada.
Here's Jenny and I at the Vermont-Canadian border. Some nice viewage. Da, 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 da.
Albert Smith, U.S. SSR Treaty of Washington. Boundary, August 9th, 1842. Canada. I'm in Canada, baby.
Baby's in Canada. Did you bring your passport?
No, I didn't. Will you get a photo of me?
Farther south on the trail.
It's just humid though. You feel like it's sucking out. You see all these clouds are just pulling the moisture right out of it.
This is the northern terminus of the long trail. It's the official start. Here's our first white blaze. Woo! 273 miles to go.
This is it. Look at that nice new sign.
Halfway between the equator and the North Pole.
Bam.
Bam! Sean and I are climbing our first peak of the day, Carlton Mountain. So far,
Feels like we're going up.
feels like we're going up, but it's been manageable.
Yeah, the walk-in from up until here has been pretty switchback and gradual. So
Some kind of really weird fungus on this tree.
There's fungus.
Carlton Mountain, our first summit
baby's first peak.
on the LT. Woo!
Whoop.
So here we have 4 different beers from 4 different New England states. Totally a coincidence. So we have the Elaborate Metaphor from Burlington, Vermont. The Landwehr Dunkel from Schilling, which is in New Hampshire. I don't remember the town that it's in, but it's in New Hampshire.
Northern New Hampshire. I forget the town as well.
Up near Lancaster somewhere. Then we have the Hair Raiser from Exhibit A in Massachusetts. And we've got the Bissell Brothers Substance Ale from Portland, Maine. And we are here taking a little lunch break at the Grown In Non-View on top of Carlton Mountain.
Oh, that's perfect grass to get to.
on Burnt Mountain. Got a little bit of a view, sorta.
Sorta, kinda.
Already made it to Shooting Star Shelter. Sean and I have decided to push forward. We did not stop at the Shooting Star Shelter.
It's kind of nice. Had a little bench and a fire pit. 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's a little early to hunker down.
Yeah. So we're gonna still try and push on to Laura Woodward tonight.
Woo!
Woo! We've done about 7 miles so far. Probably do about 10 by the time the day's over. Sean and I are doing our ascent of our last peak of the day, probably, Doll Peak,
Ah.
before we get to our shelter for the night. So far, the trail's been pretty good.
Not bad.
Pretty easy ups and downs and some flats, and pretty forgiving so far.
Dana.
So this last little bit up to Doll Peak has been a bit of a push. Probably the hardest part of the day so far, and Sean seems to have dropped his hat somewhere down the trail, so he's gone to look for it, and I'm waiting a little bit before the summit. Sean found his hat, but he's not wearing it right now.
I don't want to lose it again. I'm getting hot, wet.
So here's our viewpoint. Woo! Woo-woo. Right before Doll Peak. Look at that fallen tree.
Upheaval of the old pine.
We started hiking at 10 a.m. and we made it to our camp, which was the Laura Woodward shelter, at 5:30 p.m. for a 7.5 mile day. We hit 3 peaks along the way, Carlton Mountain, Burnt Mountain, and Doll Peak.
I think it looks like we made it. It's Laura Woodward. Here's our water source at the shelter. Good morning. It is day 2. I slept pretty good last night, stayed warm. I think it got into the 50s last night, and it was rainy and drippy all night. Last night was July 3rd, so we went to bed listening to fireworks all around. It was pretty cool. Ready to start day 2. Today we're going to be hiking over J Peak, and then we're going to be staying at Hazen's Camp. It's a little bit wet today, a little cool, rainy, but we are doing good.
Happy 4th.
Little ski boundary area on the way up to J Peak. This is why Vermont is so cool. We just came out of the woods here, and now we're in a wide open ski area. Okay, we are on the LT.
Goat run, greatest of all time.
Which way does the trail go?
Well, nice. So there's 2 markers here.
Oh, all right.
So I'm thinking I had to look for them too. Here goes Jenny, pushing up G Peak. Doesn't look like much views to be had today. Try and give you a little perspective of what the terrain's like as we hike.
Oh, Tuckerman's baby.
I know, I thought it was funny. Sounds pretty perilous. Just like New Hampshire's Tuckerman's.
Oh, I made it to the top of J Peak.
Woo!
Woo!
We're about to crest, baby.
Mount Washington, New Hampshire.
Start on the north end?
Somewhere that way.
Yeah, started yesterday.
So we're inside the building and it's so cool. There's restrooms in here. Got some non-potable water. Trash cans and recycle. Places where we can plug in and sit. We got looks like a vending machine. That's pretty nice.
There's some salt and peppers if you want them.
Yeah, deli is closed today, but some interesting history here on the J Peak. Ski mountain. More seating and outlets. This would be a nice view. Oh, it's awesome. Playing a game with the babe while we chill out. Investigating the tram you can take to the bottom. Would be nice on a nicer day. Now it's kind of just like you're riding through the clouds. Valhalla! There's a little sign in there. It says Long Trail South. We gotta go up these stairs. You can see some of the sky. The clouds are starting to dissipate. Starting to get a view. This is really something.
That's just an old road or something there.
Got a nice view of the valley on our way down from J Peak. And I think that's actually a ski trail, babe.
Yeah, in the wintertime. Yep.
Sean found this carved into the tree in the trail. It says J Heart S. It's a symbol of our eternal love.
That's right. You're welcome, baby.
We came across this little hut, about to have a little snack break.
You've had one before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's like, I had the chocolate one. This is the white chocolate.
That one's good.
White chocolatey macadamia.
That one was good. I liked it.
I got my first boo-boo. Tripped on the asphalt. Here's Gilpin Mountain. Can you see anything?
You can see a little bit, just a small glimpse into the valley through the mist. So we're just getting teased today.
Oh, yeah.
Getting teased.
We've been seeing a lot of moose poop on the trail, and they're always so courteous to poop on the side of the trail rather than in the middle.
Picture you over there.
There it is. Domie's Dome.
Whoop, it is.
Making our push up to Buchanan, our final peak of the day. Whew. It's a big push. Big push to the top. We're on top of Chet's Lookout, which is you just climb a little ladder up to a rock. And this is the best view we've had all day.
All weekend.
Buchanan Mountain is our final peak of the day. Finally made it.
Crushed it. Woo.
The sun finally came out. It's the first time we've seen it since we started our trip. Sean's very excited about that.
It's nice.
This is gonna be the longest 1/10 of a mile ever. We made it. We're all set up at camp. Can't really see my hammock and his tent over there. We're eating our loaded baked potato meal.
Came out good this time.
Enjoying some breakfast, some cereal, and some Thai tea. Sean's eating something.
Grape nuts. Got my cereal and coffee.
Woo. Woo. This is where we camped last night. This is day 3 now. We had a really nice experience here. A very cool campsite.
Saw a little bit of fireworks last night for the 4th and a little bit of a sunset. Really fun.
Yeah. Now we're headed back to Hazen's Notch to Sean's car. We're back at the trail junction already. I've got 6.1 miles to my next camp, which is Tillotson. But first, we're gonna make a stop at Sean's car.
Catch me hopping dirty.
Better get me hopping dirty. I was talking to Sean about how dry the trail has been. In some of the videos I've seen from 2017, it was a lot more wet, and my feet have stayed dry this entire trip. Ooh. We already went 1.5 miles. Cruising. Can already hear cars. Terminus of the Hazen Road, 1779. We made it to the Hazen's Notch road. It's just a dirt road. But Sean's car is here. I'm gonna get my resupply. These are some things I am leaving behind. Here's a game I brought just for this section for me and Sean to play. Actually, there's 2 games in here. But obviously don't need that anymore. I brought way too much Ridgeline, so I'm leaving some of that behind. I'm leaving my micro and macro lenses. This is just very situational that I would use them, and they're heavy and they take up a lot of space. I found this tent stake. I don't need it for this trip, but I lost a tent stake a while ago, so that'll bring me back up to my original number. And these tarp ticks, which I realized are kind of redundant because I have the Line Lock 3s on my tarp. So I've got my food resupplies, which Sean has generously offered to carry up the mountain for me. And I just had a bunch of stuff in here I just used to refill my bags. Ready to climb up to Haystack Mountain.
Basically.
Back on the trail. So Haystack Mountain is my first peak of the day, 1.8 miles, and then Tillotson Camp, where I'll probably be spending the night, 4.6. And Sean's gonna join me up to Haystack.
Woo!
You can see some peekaboo views through the trees here. I'm gonna give it to you. Oh, look at that view of the trees.
Snapple dapples.
Oh.
Wonder what mountain that is way out there.
I just checked my Peak Finder app and we're looking into Canada. Made it to a trail junction up to Haystack. We're gonna climb up to the summit before I head back that way. So we just checked, and the tall peak out here, that one, that's Mansfield. And then off to the left, you can see a few other of the 4,000 footers that I'm gonna be climbing next week. Oh, I don't even think this is the summit here, but this is our best view that we've had all trip.
Yeah, I say we go look at the summit, but if it's not better than this, we come back here and hang out. This is really nice.
I agree. There is J Peak with the building on top. That's where we were on day 2.
And we hiked down. I see J Pass. Then we hiked up and
Woo.
over. Hiking the LT. I'll have hiked most of the northern part, except this section from, well, the top of Haystack to Smuggler. Yeah, I'm meeting you in Smuggler's Notch. Yeah.
Out here is the White Mountains. I'm starting to hike by myself now. I just said goodbye to Sean, and it was really hard. It's kind of stupid because I'm gonna see him again in 4 days, but I don't know why. It was just really hard to say goodbye. I had a really fun time starting a trail with him, and I wish that he could come and do the rest of it with me, but he has to work, so I'll see him. He's coming on Friday to pick me up, and we're staying at the Butler house. And we're gonna hike Mount Mansfield together. It should be really nice. So I'll see him. And he's gonna camp with me that night. I mean, Saturday night. So it'll be good. So I don't really, this next section of the trail is all stuff that's new to me. And I mean, I've watched it in videos and whatever, but obviously never hiked any part of it, so it'll be interesting doing this by myself. I'm hoping to camp at Tillotson Camp tonight, and hoping that those 2 people Sean and I met and camped near the last 2 nights are there, so at least I'll have some company. I think the shadow looks like an S, and it means Sean's with me. Made it to Tillotson Camp, and there's a bear box. That's a welcome sight.
It's the end of day 3. I made it to camp. I set up my hammock. I made chicken and rice onion soup. When I got here, there were two girls here, so I talked to them for a bit, and then they were going northbound, so they're finishing the day after tomorrow. And so they gave me the scoop about Corliss Camp, where I want to try and push on tomorrow. It's supposed to be a really nice shelter, but it's gonna be like 13-14 mile hike, so I'm gonna try and see how far I get. Just feeling kind of sad and blah today. I'm kind of glad that I called it an early night, so I can kind of recharge, and hopefully tomorrow will be a new day and I'll be more refreshed. I only hiked 6.1 miles today. Some of the terrain was a bit rough, like not very well maintained, not very well marked in some places, and so like I really had to pay attention to where I was going. There was like some swampy bits where, you know, I stepped into mud at one point. Wasn't that bad. My feet dried out okay and everything, but it was just kind of slow going. So by the time I made it to camp, I was kind of beat as well. And it was like 5 o'clock, which is when I'm finding I kind of like to stop hiking for the day so I can have time to just make dinner and set up camp and everything and relax. I think tonight I'm going to just watch some videos I have downloaded to kind of try and cheer myself up a bit, and then try to get to sleep early so I can get an early start tomorrow and get as much hiking as I can done tomorrow.